G'day everybody, it's Dave from Wing Chun Mind Force. Today in my Friday bus video I'm in a new bus. You can see it's got flash fancy seats, smells like a new car. It's got air conditioning. I'm in the same beautiful place as I usually sit at. And today's video is inspired by a piece of art that I made over 20 years ago when I first started Wing Chun. And it's all about flowing with nature. So you'll see up on the screen my drawing, and I overlaid it with the words, "Gravity flows like the stream and the wind. The one in harmony with the Tao flows with gravity as the leaf in the stream. Such is Wu Wei." So this was very kung fu-ish of me. I did that drawing. I actually did that drawing about 1998, just after I started in 97, and it sort of came to me without me really thinking about it, but I got some of the idea from a book called The Tao, the Watercourse Way by Alan Watts. And at the time, I'd never heard of Alan Watts. It just looked like a sort of a cool book. It had a Chinese painting on the front, little slim volume, so I bought it. And it's a terrific book. And you'll see that up on the screen now. The Tao, the Watercourse Way. And he didn't know about Wing Chun, but in it he talks about the concept of Wu Wei, which means to act without acting, doing not doing. That concept of the Tao, the nature of life, doing all the work. So that was what inspired me to do the drawing, because as I was standing doing my Wing Chun, I felt that that was what was happening. And he in the book says that old-time practitioners of Kung Fu used gravity like a stream, and they moved in that stream of gravity like a leaf in a stream. So to me that sounded pretty fair dinkum. It sounded reasonable, and I still believe that's true. I think there's a deeper level of mind that's even more than just the power of gravity. But when you think about it, even Sibuk Bruce Lee, my Sifu's older Wing Chun brother, he famously said, "Be like water, my friend." And of course people tend to think groovy, but what does that actually mean? You know, Bruce says water can flow, what can crash? Be like water, my friend. So it really means to flow and to be at one with nature, and be using the mind of nature, not the thinking, tense, conscious mind, and just flow with life. And gravity is basically a weak force. In physics they call it a weak force. You wouldn't think it's weak when you feel gravity, but it's actually called a weak force, but because our planet's so huge and we're so tiny, it feels quite strong to us. It holds us down on the planet. And if you drop even 6 foot, you know about the force of gravity when it controls you and you're allowed to fall. So in this picture I'm trying to get that feeling, that the relaxed body, the mind pointing the force forward, allowing it to flow through your arms as the conduit of the mass being under the force of gravity. Then you'll see I've indicated sort of a circular, and that was a bit of an inspired thing because I was only very much a beginner. I'd never been anywhere near Chum Q, let alone Bill G. I've never even seen them for years. But yeah, I think it's a good picture. And funny enough, my friend and teacher Richard Antonini pointed to this drawing one day, which had been framed on the wall of our Sifu Gym school in Surface Paradise, and he'd inherited it from my good friend Grant Mathers, who started that school up there. And I'd given Grant a copy of this because he liked it. So it had been on the wall, and Richard, who was teaching me at the time, said, Now, Dave, pay attention to that. That's wise what that says. And I said, I actually did that. And he goes, no. Yeah, really, I did. So he was pretty stoked about that. But so that's the message today, is just to think about gravity and how it affects you, and how gravity flows like a stream. And the idea of the leaf in the stream is that the leaf it's not aware of itself being in the stream, same as the stream's not aware of the leaf in the way we normally think. And they just sort of interact, and things float along. Hits a rock, might stop for a second, or it might just skim over the top or go around it. That's how we want to be with our Wing Chun. Absolutely unstoppable, flowing like a stream. We want to develop that stream so as a maximum intensity, and that's what happens when we step and pivot and turn, and using Bill G principles, you're sort of spinning like a ball, and that's it. So I'll leave you with that. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy the little clips of the beautiful stream near where I live, where I go swimming on hot days. Okay, thanks very much. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thanks so much for all the people who've been subscribing. Thanks for all the great comments. I've been a bit late commenting on my last video. I got a lot of good comments, so I haven't forgotten you guys, and I'll see you next week.